Just don't know where to start on this. I know I got to repair this rusted out place back here, and I want to make some kind of a mount. So I guess that's where I'll start. I've got a piece of 1/2 inch square there that I started to bend into this shape. You can see the edge is pretty much all gone, so I'm going to try to get a little piece that'll fit that curve there on the end on each side. It looks pretty good metal. This has all been bent and twisted, so I'm going to try to hammer it as straight as I can here on the corners, and weld this piece of 1/2 inch down there in it. I've kind of got it started. Hard to hold it with one hand, but I've got the rough shape enough to where I can maybe clamp it here on the corners where it's good and mark it so I can kind of get this radius bent a little bit. And once I can weld that in there, I can go ahead and make me some little patch pieces for this. Cover up that rusted area some. And just move forward a little bit. But I do have to fix this no matter what, so might as well do it now. I got this piece made. It's matching pretty good. I've got it clamped pretty tight into this area here. I really couldn't get the rust off of it, but I can break an arc and melt it up into the skin. I've got a place right here where the seam hits. I ground that out a little bit. I had to clamp it good. I'll have the same thing over there. I'm going to try to get this corner welded in, and then I'm not exactly sure what I'll do about this area in here. Don't have much wood left. I mean metal left here at all. Whether I'll put another piece on or what, I don't know. You can see here that the bottom of this raw is approximately where the old metal was. It had a couple nails in it, so I think there was a wood piece that this was nailed up into. I'm going to try to weld it all from the inside. I don't have the curve exactly matched. Oops. Looks like I knocked my one little clamp off over there. That's holding it down. So that's all I can do is cleaned it up as good as I could with a wire brush, and I'll try to tack it in and then see what I can do about getting this middle piece in. And I've got a couple little tiny places here where there was an edge. I don't know, I may just take a zip cut and just cut this corner off of here so I can tack it good along the edge. We'll see. Have to get this corner welded in first. See how that goes. That turned out pretty good. I was able to weld it about every inch or so, and I didn't really burn through my outside here. I did once there in the corner, but that bar is in there good and solid. And now I'll go over here to this other side and do the same thing. I want to get the corners good and solid, then I'll worry about what's happening here with this rusted out metal. Well, that side's welded in. Good around the corner to where that seam is. And all the rest of this, I just figured out how to use my zoom. All the rest of this is rusted out. So I've got like a 1/4 inch across there. I'm going to try to pound on that rod, put a little more curve in it. See if I can get it to match a little better, and then I'll try welding it, see what kind of luck I have. Well, that's pretty much all done. Let's see, do a little zoom in here. I've got it tacked about every inch or so, all along the good metal. Corners are good. It's all good there. And I've got 2 places here that I cut out. This one's about 4 inches, and this one's about 6 or 7 inches. I've got a excuse me, piece of firewall that it's got like an angle on it, and I'm just gonna cut out a piece of that firewall, tack it in here, leave that angle on the bottom. There's some left on this one, not much of it, but you can see it there in a couple places. But I'll put some more angle here in these repaired places. At least it'll give me a kind of a round corner. I won't have to mess with that. Yeah, I thought I was gonna make a career out of this one patch, but I got it cut out, put in, and it's welded up pretty good. I got a few holes left here to fill in it, but I've got quite a bit of heat in the panel, so I'm going to take a break. But it didn't turn out too bad. I still got my, more or less, my curve. This little one over here on the corner ought to be much easier, but it's getting stronger all the time. That killed a lot of the flex, and there's probably a little left in here. I can feel it bending just a bit. Looks like I got to weld up this corner here. Well, that's an easy deal after trying to fix something like this. Get something to eat and let it cool. Well, this little one wasn't too bad. I was able to get it in. I didn't even try to bend a curve in it, but I got it where it had holes. I built it up into the 1/2-inch rod. I was able to fill up a pinhole here by welding into the 1/2-inch rod and building it up. I got this corner kind of welded up. This was broke, and this flange here was bent. I was able to weld it all up. There was some pinholes. I could have put a patch, but I used filler rod. And over here where this corner was broke, I was able to weld it up. So now this panel is all welded good. I'm going to grind it down. It should look a lot better, and it'll show me any pinholes I might have left. I think I got them all. And then I'm gonna just try to flood this whole thing in here best I can with that rust converter, and should be as good as we can get it. I mean, I could get it better, of course, but I might put another little few tacks on the bottom of these two panels here, and then rust converter it, and I'll call this tailpiece a job. Can't believe it took all day on it. Well, that's a kind of a done deal. I got all the back of this thing rust converted up under this lip here real good. See those little tiny holes in it? Had a whole bunch of nails in it, probably 10 or 15, so there was a piece of wood up in there. Would make sense to make that a little stronger, but I've got it rust converted all the way around the corner, and all the inside right here in the back. I didn't really get to that part yet because I didn't pour enough converter to do it, but I want to knock that down with DA first, sandpaper or something, take some of that loose rust off. I got this off the best I could. I had ground down my patches here. This one didn't turn out very straight. Don't know why, probably because I wasn't paying attention as much, but it don't look too bad from the back. I'll sort that out with Bondo. Looked like it was crushed in a little bit there, and I didn't really get that fixed, but I will sort this out with Bondo. And I think I'll put a brace here in this top piece. I don't know. It obviously had wood in it. I'm going to need a lot more 1/2 inch. I think I only got about 3-4 feet left. But this tail piece now is kind of a product. Might have a few pinholes in it. You can see where the rust converter came through there in a couple places. But I really slopped it in there good. Try to get that rusty plate underneath this 1/2 inch covered. Keep it from rusting. I don't know why I even bother. This car will be alive long after I'm gone unless somebody wrecks it. But kind of all-day job, but this is solid now, and I didn't know what I was going to do with that rusted out rear. Now I know. And I still got a little broken place here I got to fix. This welded here all right. That one welded over there okay. I have to replace this drip rail. That one there is good, and I'll have to replace the front. I think I'll do this with just a piece of angle iron. Cut it, make a bend right in the middle, and just shoot it off to both sides. It doesn't have to be curved or anything fancy, just to get the water to run over here into this drip rail. And press on with I guess the next thing, what I was kind of counting on here, was running a brace from over there, that 1 inch piece, down to that 1/2 inch piece down there. I don't think there's any real reason to try to put a curve in it. I think I can just take a straight shot from the top of this thing right straight to the corner down there. I do want to put an angle iron bracket on it though, so I can unbolt this from the frame. And this is sitting almost on the frame right here with these brackets holding it, but I got some 1/4 inch spacers, rubber spacers, so once I make the brackets I'll make them fit flush to the frame. Then I pick it up, put a 1/4 inch in it, and that should rubber mount the whole thing, so I shouldn't have any squeaks. The same thing here on this down tube. I'll just weld a piece of angle iron on there and drill a hole, put a bolt in it, weld a bolt. I'll weld the nut on the back, so it'll just have one bolt hole, because I want to box this. It's going to take a lot of plate still. You know, we got 6 inches by about 20 feet. That's a lot of steel. But I just press on getting these body mounts finished. Tomorrow, that's what I'll do, is make these 2 tail pieces, and I'll try to make this vertical where this toolbox goes. I don't know what it is, I call it a toolbox. And just kind of tie all of these this frame together, and then I can pull it out, make sure it's welded up good all the way around, and then put it back in and figure out how I'm going to tie the body onto the frame. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Moving along slow, like Rat Rod Bob says. We're getting there, we just ain't got it yet. Started working on this trunk cage here. I've got a 1 inch piece that's notched and fits over this 1/2 inch piece, It bolts right at the edge of the frame. It goes up here to this vertical, clamps in. I got a piece of 1-inch pipe there that I bent, and this terminates right here at the 1-inch pipe, so I can weld it real good right there. I can weld this here in the back good to the skin, and give you a view from the other side. Looks kind of strange, but you can see how it's set there. So it'll be bolted with angle iron right in the very back. There'll be angle iron here where this down comes to the frame. That'll be welded into that pipe. I'm trying to get this all together. My brackets and everything welded on it, are tacked on it where they're supposed to go. I want to pull this whole thing out of here and then weld it solid. More or less got good 2 triangles there, one on the bottom, one up here on the top for the where the hinges go on the trunk. But I think this is going to be plenty good for strengthening up that back. Plus there's kind of a bonus, there's a bolt hole right here, and I don't know if you can see it on this one, but it's right there, right behind this bar, real close, so I can bolt this. Not only this be welded down in here, but it'll have a bolt going through from the inside. I don't know where that hole is. Right there. If I can get that old frozen bolt out. So this will be welded to the bottom, bolted real good here, welded up here, and I can see that I got a little room back in there. I can probably be upside down here. I can make a triangular bracket that'll go into these 2 holes and come up here. I'm about 1 inch away, but I can make something where I can bolt these 2 to this back frame, and that way I can actually pull this fender in a little bit with bolts. I may not even mess with that one down there. It's pretty rusted up. I think if I just worry about this one here, make a triangular bracket, or just bracket and the angle iron welded to it, I can get that bolted on real good and solid. I got my other piece cut there. So what I'm going to do is I got my bar there, the 1-inch bar cut a little long. So I'm going to clamp in this back brace and measure the distance, and then I can cut my bar there to the right length. I think I might just weld these two back ones in. You know, they can still be moved around a little because it's just tweaking that skin. Go ahead and pull this front one out. Weld it up real good. I actually can weld all the way around on it, except for the top. So I really got to get it out to weld the top. And I need to do something with that little piece that's hanging off there. I'm not sure exactly how I'll resolve that. This one I bent up to where it's almost touching the skin. Whatever that's gonna be. I think it's gonna be going up into the part of this thing. I'm about 3-4 inches here away from the edge of the door. It may be that this little 1-inch bent piece here will take another 1 inch that'll run all the way up here to the door. So this would all be kind of one continuous weld through the, from the front of the door around to this bar that's here. Weld up this 45 that this has been at. I think that's what I'll do. I'll get the right angle on it, tack it a little bit so it doesn't move around, and then I'll cut a little piece for that, a little sliver to weld it up solid, and then I'll take this piece here off of this tail of this one, take it forward. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'll bend this up as good as I can. I'll see what I got here. I think I got enough of this 1 inch left to do both of these front pieces. I'm not sure. I have a kind of a round place in here, so it might be kind of good to maybe take another piece of that 1 inch pipe, bend it around. I was planning on hooking this top piece to the top, but no reason I shouldn't use that one. It's already down at the right height. We'll see. I'll get this one here mocked up, this bar cut off. I gotta flapper wheel it so it looks good, and then I gotta try to rust preventer everything here, that where it's going down, make my brackets while it's in the right place, bore my holes, get ready to mount it before I take this whole thing out of here. Now I got my braces all cut. This one doesn't want to go up and match the 1 inch like the other side. And the reason why is because big dent here. If you look at this side, see it's got comes up real nice, and this area is kind of been crushed down. Now I started looking at this stuff and it's lead, so rather than try to beat it out, I got to get this crease out of it, because that's right exactly where that brace is. So I'm just going to take a propane torch and hopefully just melt it off. I don't know how much trouble it's going to be. I would think it would be a lot. I got a long file over there with a good handle I can use to scrape. Anyway, that's going to be the procedure. Just heat it up. And by the way, this got to be the original paint on this car. I can tell whenever you start welding it, when it starts to go through to the other side, it's got burns and got a pretty unique smell. I'm pretty sure this was the old original lacquer. Well, this could have been done sometime in the 50s. I don't know. Anyway, it looks like this is getting soft, so I'm going to use both hands and try to get all this mess off of here. There you go. I'll try to switch cameras with you. What this is going to show. It might show you something. But that took a little doing. That stuff was 3/8 of an inch thick. Looks like there was a weld in here, and I can see a welded seam in the back, and they filled it all the way up into here. I took it all off. I should have probably not done that, but I wanted to see what was there. Really all I needed was this place right here. But anyway, I took advantage while it was hot there and beat this up a little bit. Probably got a little more right in here that I can beat up, but I'll just clean this all up with Bondo. There was a lot of lead in it. I could smell the old acid core flux. So this is most likely not factory. I don't think they would put a car together like this and sell it. Who knows? Might have had this door panel here or panel replaced, but anyway, I got it worked out pretty good. And see if I can get my bar up in here now. Well, I'm about ready to start welding it together. They got this pretty close, within 1/4 of an inch. That one there's good. I couldn't do anything with that seam there. I may try to work it a little when I get to, well, be too late. I'll have it welded. I've got those both parallel to the edge of the frame back there and back. They're sitting on my 1/2-inch bar. This is all good here. I should be able to weld it up, at least this triangle part, with my round rod there. And I just have to measure this one hole here to make sure that it's square before I really start pouring a weld to it. But I don't think it moved, but I do want to get it get the same distance from the hole to the brace on both sides. I had it clamped most of the time on both sides. It might have moved a little with the banging, but this should be enough to hold it in. I'll weld what I can here. Take it out, put some good welds on the rest of it, put it back in, and then I'll weld my brackets. It'd be easier to do that once I'm sure it's going to be where it's going to be. So, get the measuring tape and fire up the welder. Well, there's Mr. Cage. He was a little tricky, didn't want to come out. It's hanging right on the back of the deck lid on this round bar. But I got it out. Luckily I didn't weld any of these side things in, I wouldn't have. But I got it all welded. Some welds are good, some are crap, but they're all strong. So at this point I'm gonna rust coat this whole thing. It'll turn it black and protect it. And while that's drying, I'll get back up under this edge here. Maybe I already did coat it, and I'll coat all that, let that all dry. And I'll let the rusty piece hanging down there. I'm going to have to weld into it, so at least I'll trim up some of that bad stuff, or maybe I'll just wait. I think I'll just wait. I'll get that put in there and centered, because those are my two center holes. And then I can cut it close to where the bottom of the 1-inch piece goes across there, and weld it into that 1-inch piece real good across the bottom. And I really shouldn't have to worry about the top at that point. That should be plenty strong. Anyway, rust coat time. Well, there's Mr. Trunk brace. I painted it all with that rust kill, dried a little. Mostly that one bar up there was real rusty. Made it out of that old pipe laying there. And I just shot it, the whole thing, with black paint. I'm gonna have to weld it right there, and I'm gonna have to weld it right here where these cuts are. and I need to weld the back of the trunk lid there, and also I need to tack that back piece there. So this is right at the window, this is at the back of the trunk. So I didn't want to just leave unpainted a lot of stuff, so I went ahead and painted. I'll try to get some sandpaper or a screwdriver or something in there to clean it when I go to weld it. But basically it looks real good. A couple days work here to make this thing, but it's definitely going to make the whole car solid. Well, here we go. I cut my clamps off, so this is, the whole body's just now only, you can see I am moving that like 1/16, 1/8 of an inch. I welded it good down in here, just from the top. I put plenty on there, so filled that gap. I spread this out with a porta-power where it was the right size, same size as the frame. I put a couple welds here. You're just tacks basically, and it's just super solid. It's not flexing up here at all. But like I said, I can bend in it there, but it's really only held on by that one clamp. That one down there don't count. It's welded right there. So I left those so I can cut them off. And of course this is not welded or clamped either. So I'm going to try to weld this one here from the bottom. I'll tack it every couple inches. It is really not that important. It's just, you know, just this package tray is enough to hold it. I'll cut it off right at the bottom there, the middle, right where that 1-inch bar goes across, and just weld it all across there. That'll make this completely solid. I'll make me a angle bracket down there for the back, and I'll put a 1/4 inch spacer in it. Angle brackets there, 1/4 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to have about 12 spacers in it, something like that. I'm mounted on 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 or 6. 10 places maybe. But I've got just a little clearance here. And like I say, this is able to move just a little. That's only flexing what this frame is allowing it, which is not a lot, because once I put that bar in the middle and welded it and then spread this bottom with a porta-power, this whole thing is under compression, so that makes it super strong. Anyway, I'm kind of pleased at the bar, and looks like my tin's even lining up better here. So that tied everything into the frame, so or tied everything into the body, so there ain't no taking this body off. I decided that I'd just go ahead and try to, you know, I can spray rest coat this stuff here instead of brushing it. I can get to those bottom lips by the tires by taking the tire off. Everything I can get to on the inside of the car at the bottom, so I'm not really particularly worried about taking the body off and cleaning up and painting the frame. I can box all of this from the inside. I can rust coat it all once I get the splash panel off. And I think I'm gonna, once I get this rust coated, I'm gonna paint this frame black. Might as well, I've got a lot of work in it. And the body really isn't that bad. I mean, it don't look like it, but I think I can go around here with I was kind of kicking around, you know, using rat rod bob stitches on everything. I may do it on some of it, but I basically got everything real straight. It's not like I got a ton of crunch dents to try to fix, and I might as well spend a little extra time getting it to one place, and making a good looking rat rod out of it's one thing. Look like this bowed out. Well, I'm not really worried about that. Making a good looking rat rod is one thing, and spend another couple days knocking out dents, and then just put a really nice paint job on it. It'll be worth a lot more, especially when I get all this trunk stuff all cleaned up and painted, and I'll make a nice looking trunk here. I got plenty of room to mount stuff to, and shouldn't be that hard to chop up some, you know, thin fiberboard or something and make an interior. And behind the seat area, this is going to be a pretty good passenger compartment here. You know, that's about 2.5 feet. I can make something real nice in there. Carpet all of this. And but I can put a nice interior in it without a lot of money. Main thing is that the body and everything will be real straight. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on this cowl, but I know that. That's no big deal. I've got the frame straight where I want it to go, and all the tail is straight. And this cowl is always going to be something that you have to make fit that thing. I don't know what you call it, passenger compartment. It's still a little floppy, of course. It's not really. In fact, I only got a couple clamps on it. But I'm going to make a nice looking car out of it. Spend a little more money. I'll paint it that dark early Chrysler blue. Ought to set off that motor real good. Use little turquoise pinstripes on it. I'll leave some of this stuff, you know, just knock it down, these weld marks and things. It'll be a, you know, a street rod with rat rod flavor. So anyway, guys, that's it for today. I got my cage in. It's all good. It's all straight. And now I can move on to a lot of stuff like putting the back of this window on and everything else, now that that's all good. Like and subscribe. Have a good day. Bye bye.